Now's the time to be part of the team at Team Toyota. Step up to the plate with a winning lineup of new Toyota models like the new 4Runner, Grand Highlander, and the all-new 2026 RAV4. Or find something perfect for your game plan and your budget with over 300 certified used Toyotas available. And don't sweat a trip to the IL. Our service and collision centers will have you back in the game in no time. So slide into one of our 3 locations, Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or take a swing online at teamtoyota.net. This is Phillies Talk, presented by Team Toyota. Spencer McKercher, digital video producer here at NBC Sports Philadelphia. Once again, joined by Sean Kane, the producer of Phillies pre- and post-game live. Sean Kane,
Spence,
162-0, still in play.
That's right. You can't win them all unless you win the first one.
No, you cannot, buddy. And what a day it was on Thursday. Phillies kick off their opening day ceremonies with a bunch of good stuff. We'll get to Ricky Bo's first pitch. Followed him all day.
Yeah.
You and I were kind of joking the other day where there's so much lead up to this day alone.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just keep it moving now.
Yep.
You kind of keep it moving. It's going to be a long day, a long night here at NBC Sports Philadelphia. But now we just keep things moving forward, and they got a game in 24 hours on Saturday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. But, man, what a start. What a start. Christopher Sanchez, Kyle Schwarber, Alec Bohm, really the superstars. But take it away, man. I'm happy that they're 1-0.
Yeah, like the nature of opening day is we wait so long for a meaningful game, so you want to dissect everything, and maybe you overreact and every little thing. And, of course, they have the off day on Friday, so then what are we going to talk about? So, yeah, it's good that they win the game because you don't want to be, they lost, oh, no, this is trouble. And they win the game. And, frankly, all the signs were really encouraging, maybe save for the 9th inning and Kyle Backus. But let's focus on the positive because there's a ton of them. Chris Sanchez, just picking right up where he left off. Just easy 6 shutout innings, 10 punch outs, no walks. Just really, really good. He looked like a Cy Young winner. And we saw Paul Skeens struggle. We were kind of joking earlier, all right, Chris Sanchez is in the driver's seat now, baby. But he was awesome. And that's not a bad Rangers lineup. Those guys can hit the ball. And he was just dominant. First Phillies pitcher with 10 or more punch outs on opening day since Curt Schilling in 1997, almost 30 years ago. So Sanchez was awesome. The offense, first 2 batters of the game, boom, they got 2 runs on the board. Turner with the infield single. Schwarber, of course, homers in his first at bat.
Of course.
And Bohm, I know we're going to get to Bohm and that inning really impressed me what Bohm did, picking up Schwarber and Harper, and then, of course, Justin Crawford. So lots of positives, as you can tell. A lot to feel good about. Sanchez was the star for me, but a couple big hits from the offense as well.
And real quick, too, we're doing this because, 1, it was opening day and it was a great 5-3 win.
Yeah.
And 2, it's the off day Friday. So hopefully you guys are enjoying your Friday and enjoying your time as the Phillies start 1-0, have an off day, and then they get back to it on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
But you mentioned that Sanchez stat. There was another stat that I saw. He became just the 6th pitcher since at least 1900 with at least 10 Ks, no walks, over 6 or more scoreless innings on opening day.
Wow.
Joining a group that includes Bob Gibson and Phillies lefty Chris Short.
Wow.
In 1968.
Not a bad list to be a part of, man. He just continues to amaze.
And it was one of those things, too. So with Ricky, we'll get into that, like I said. But it was cool hanging out with him, Larry Boa, Mike Schmidt, and I just completely lost
Larry
track.
Boa, Greg Luzinski.
And Greg Luzinski.
Yes.
Jeez Louise. But hanging out with them before they got going.
Yeah.
And 1, that was cool. We'll get into that. But 2, hilarious because you and I joked. We're like, okay, Skeens gets lit up. Logan Webb gets lit up on Wednesday.
That's right, against
all
the Yankees,
these World Baseball Classic guys that kind of went hard in the World Baseball Classic. We hinted at that multiple times in the offseason, how, hey, maybe this in the beginning of March isn't the best time for it.
Yep.
And those guys that kind of went out. So it was like, fingers crossed for Sanchi. And, man, did he look electric. And
was great.
Coming off the mound, showing all that emotion like he does.
Yep.
Oh, right back, man. And I'll tell you what, I had some friends over there, was talking to them, and they disagreed, but it felt like a playoff game over there today. And I get it. It's opening day. It's the first game. And for a lot of fans that were questioning this entire offseason of running it back, there sure was a lot of fans over there, and it was packed, and the festivities were fantastic.
It was awesome. It was an awesome day, and I love how I know you're younger than me, and you just kind of rattled off like, I was over there rubbing elbows with Mike Schmidt, Larry Bowa, and Greg Luzinski. Like that crew right there that obviously we all know about Mike Schmidt and Larry, but like Greg Luzinski, like those guys were the cornerstones of probably the second most profit or successful run. Maybe you could argue whether it was the 07 to 11 guys, or obviously those guys in the late 70s through 80. They won those division titles. They won the World Series championship in 1980. You're talking Larry Boa, Greg Lisinski, and Michael Jack Schmidt, man. So good for you hanging out with those guys. I know we're going to talk about Ricky's day a little later, but just a cool part about opening day is all the royalties over there, and for you to be able to hang out and just kind of spend some time with those guys behind the scenes, man. And those are some all-time Phillies.
It was crazy, man. And sorry to the Bull for, I mean, it's been a long day. It's been a long, 48 hours, dude. It's been a long 48 hours, so I'm sorry to the Bull for forgetting his name and who else was there. There was a lot of people, but dude, it was really cool. Yeah, we'll dive into that in a little bit. But Sanchez, just unbelievable. And again, this Rangers lineup, say what you want, it's still a pretty good big league lineup. You still have Corey Seager. You have Wyatt Langford, who I think is going to be a star at some point. Brandon Nimmo, obviously Kutch towards the end of his career, but still, it's a hell of a lineup. And for him to just get the job done the way that he did was so impressive.
He was great. He was awesome. And then, after he exits the bullpen, it looks strong, to start. Bolin was good. Zach Pop got through, and then Backus stumbled a little bit in the ninth, and that was really the only negative. They had to bring Duran into the game, which isn't the end of the world. They have an off day on Friday, but obviously you don't want to have to use him in a game where you're up 5-0 going the ninth inning. But Backus, a couple, gives up the home run, and then Harper had the error that didn't help him. Like if Harper makes that throw, all of a sudden there's 2 outs, nobody on. They probably leave him in the game, and they don't have to bring Duran in.
Bingo.
So that was a little discouraging, but it's one start. One appearance for Backus, so not going to overreact to it. Hopefully he can bounce back. Pop with the first challenge.
Hilarious.
Unsuccessful, however, but he challenged that ball 4 call. Yeah,
that's going to be such a great trivia question in like 10 years from now.
Zach Pop.
Like when the ABS has fully taken over and there's robot umps, and it's like, who's the first Phillies in the first year of ABS to get it done? It's Zach Pop.
Yeah.
And listen, Backus, we talk so highly of him. I feel like everyone has, really. Yep. Calm down. It's okay. Like you said, I think Bryce throwing the ball to second, it hits the runner. He advances to third. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Backus it's fine. Again, we mentioned on the last podcast, it's his first time in Philadelphia ever.
Right.
So, I don't know if the nerves got to him. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to have a heck of a season. Just a little blip in the radar. But Bolin looked great. An inning and a hit. No runs, no earned. Obviously, no strikeouts, no walks. And then Pop, you mentioned, ran into a little trouble. First three pitches of his debut were all balls, but he settles in, allows 1 hit, no walks, no Ks as well for Zach Pop. And then, it was set up that Duran was going to come in the game.
Yeah.
Like, it was just cool. And Tom mentioned it on the broadcast, McCarthy mentioned it, that, it's way better at nighttime, but it's still the first one under the belt, the first entrance, man. It was, I got the chills again.
For sure. Yeah, and it was good to see him come in, close the deal. Again, Backus we're not going to overreact to, but all's well that ends well. And, I mentioned it off the top. I was really impressed with Bohm, that 3-run homer that obviously they ended up needing to win the game. That ended up being the difference. That inning, that 5th inning, Justin Crawford, who we'll talk about a little bit, leads off with his second hit of the game. Turner follows up with a single. So then you got 2 on, no out for your 2 biggest bats, Schwarber and Harper. Here we go. Big inning.
Yep.
Schwarber punches out. Harper punches out. 2 out. We've talked all winter about who's going to bat cleanup, who's going to protect these guys. And here comes Bohm, picks up Schwarber and Harper with a towering opposite field 3-run home run to give them a 5-0 lead. Just a really, really big swing of the bat. And I think it was signified that Bohm, he's going to be up to the task here. He's going to be up to the task. A lot of eyes on him in that cleanup hole. And he picks up Schwarber and Harper, and he kind of busts the game open. And just a really big swing, a really encouraging swing, and hopefully kind of a sign of things to come.
I talked to some fans pregame, as we always do for a Fans Take segment, and one of the guys that I talked to straight up said that Alec Bohm is going to be an MVP candidate this season. And
Ruben Amaro on the pregame show, bold prediction, top 5 in the MVP vote.
That's exactly it, too.
Yeah.
And I love that there's a lot of conversation about Alec Bohm. You and I hit on contract year, everything going on, and it's a lot of outside noise of, hey, you're the cleanup hitter. You have to hit home runs. You have to produce power. You have to drive in runs, and he has.
Yeah.
And to kick off the season the way that he did, 97 off the bat, it was middle high, the pitch was.
Yeah.
But for him to turn on it and kind of send it to the right field gap, and at first it was like the right fielder too. I guess it's Jake Berger, I believe, is the right fielder. Yeah. I'm looking here.
I forget who was in right for them today off the top of my head, but that ball was carrying the right field today.
But it was Nimmo.
Nimmo.
Excuse me.
Okay.
It was Brandon Nimmo, and he's tracking it.
Yeah.
And obviously Nimmo's played there at Citizens Bank Park a lot.
Right.
And the way he was tracking it, I was at the press box. I was like, oh, he's got it. And then all of a sudden he just drifted straight back. And it was like, oh, wow, that ball carried the whole way.
Yep.
But either way, good for Alec Bohm. And we'll hit on this real quick. So obviously right before the game starts, there is a lawsuit out where Alec Bohm is suing his parents for mishandling finances. And he declined to comment it today after the game. Obviously wanted to talk about the game, and I don't think he's even allowed to talk about that.
Right.
Interesting stuff, though. We know that him and his parents basically come to every road game, every home game. We know that, there could be some animosity, or what's the word?
Animosity.
I can't say it.
Animosity, yes.
Animosity.
Yes. All good. I got it.
And now this is a thing. And I think for him, obviously he knew about it. It comes out. And for him to come out like today and put a good swing on a ball and hit a ball over the fence to give him a 5-0 lead is huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously unfortunate timing with opening day being like a fun, festive day. They win, but this story comes out and, it kind of sheds some light on what he's been dealing with. I mean, obviously this has been going on for a while, and finally it comes out that he's filed a lawsuit. And, it's an awful situation without knowing exactly what's going on. Like, it's your parents. And just couldn't imagine, getting to that point where your parents would allegedly do something like that to you and take that type of money from you to where you have to resort to taking them to court. So, we'll see how it plays out, but I'm sure it's been weighing on his mind, and I'm sure it will continue to weigh on his mind. He's a young guy. He's not a young guy, but he's still in his 20s. That's young. And, his parents, obviously, like you said, are always been around and always been there for him, but clearly there was some sort of falling out, and we'll see what happens. But unfortunate, but glad that he, at least was able to kind of put that to the side for a little bit and have himself a big opening day. And we mentioned hitting the ball to right field. Ben Davis talked about in our postgame show a number of Phillies hits today. Back through the middle, opposite field, just going with the pitch, not trying to do too much. Marsh pulled a couple of balls, but really other than that, the Schwarber home run was opposite field. Bohm's home run was opposite field. Stott went the other way once. Crawford went up the middle twice. Turner. So really good approach, I thought, by the lineup up and down. They had 10 hits. Harper struggled. JT struggled. I don't think Garcia had a hit, but pretty much everybody else in the lineup was productive top to bottom. So, an overall good day for the offense.
Garcia finishes over 4 with 2 strikeouts, but the 2 lineouts that he had, it was a hell of a pick over there by Josh Jung for the Rangers. And again, hard hit. That was smoked. So again, he'll be okay. 4 players finished the day with 2 hits. And it's 4 guys that really are going to hopefully signify some productivity in this lineup all day. That's Trey Turner, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, and Justin Crawford.
Yeah, man.
And I think the coolest moment, you could argue that Kyle Schwarber's home run in the first inning is pretty sweet.
Of course,
But I think the coolest moment, Justin Crawford gets a standing ovation.
Yeah, man.
The CBP crowd rocking. And on the very first pitch he sees in the big leagues, sends it right up the middle for his first career hit. Man, it was awesome.
Yeah, barely gets into the box, and he's got a hit already. He's got his first knock. And you saw what he does. Hits the ball, gets through the middle, second at bat, gets through the middle, hasn't shown a whole lot of power. I'm sure that hopefully will come as he gets older and a little bit stronger, but he's hit. He just hits, at every level he's at in the minor leagues. He led AAA in batting, as we've discussed, and he comes up a couple of knocks in his first couple ABs, and after the game he's on the field with his family, and of course on the broadcast they're showing his father Carl, former big league all-star who we know all about. He's there. He's excited. I think he had about 40 family members there.
40.
They're all on the field afterwards. John Clark catches up to him on the field, talks to his father Carl, talks to Justin, and Justin says, "I'm going to remember this day for the rest of my life. I'm just trying to soak it in as much as I can." But what a cool day, man, for a young guy like that to come through in his first couple at bats. First pitch he sees, just didn't waste any time.
So awesome.
First big league hit. And that's what we want him to do. We want him to get on base at the bottom of the order and let the big boys drive him in, and obviously play a nice center field. And so far, so good for your preseason Rookie of the Year pick. He's on his way.
Hey,
so far.
We're not worried about the Rookie of the Year anymore, baby.
Oh, you're going for bigger and better things.
We're worried for the MVP.
Wow.
Shohei Hood.
Wow, that's okay.
It was cool, man. And even, so we were down, I was down in front of section 117.
Yep.
And took a really cool video just because of us talking to him and even myself talking to him in spring training a lot.
Yeah.
And the clip that we posted, I asked him on the podcast that, how cool is that moment going to be when you step onto the field for the first time in front of these crazy fans?
Yeah.
And just to see him run out there, I took a video of it because I'm like, this is going to be something I'll look at probably forever.
Yep.
And just him soaking it in, just taking it right in. I wish I could see his face because I'm sure there was a gigantic smile on it.
Yeah.
And then to produce at the plate the way he did is pretty cool.
For
and we mentioned it a bunch of times in the offseason that all he does is hit, and get used to it, Phillies fans. Again, if he gets into a slump, it's okay. but I'm telling you, man, he's going to hit the ball a lot this season. And I love Rob after the game mentioned too that, the Rangers kind of held him at bay on the bases too. They were very locked in. Even when he was on second base there in the later innings, they kept him close. So we were really hoping to see him steal a bag, but I'm sure there will be many of those to come.
Yeah, and you take a day, you got the off day Friday, you if you're Justin Crawford, you enjoy it, you savor it, you remember it, and then you get ready for Jacob deGrom on Saturday.
Good luck, kid.
Welcome to the big leagues. Welcome to the big leagues. Here comes deGrom and then Mackenzie Gore on Sunday. So that life in the big leagues, but just really cool, really awesome that he was able to start off on such a positive note.
For sure. And cool, so the guys in the booth talked to Kyle Schwarber after the game as well, and Tom McCarthy mentioned that, hey, pregame they actually had the curveball machine out there, and Kyle said, it's not an everyday thing, but when you have a guy like Nathan Eovaldi on the mound who throws a bunch of curveballs, you want to see it, and it obviously worked out for him in the first inning in his first at-bat. And pretty cool, man. His last at-bat in spring launches a ball against the Yankees in Tampa, and then his next at-bat hits another home run. It's just unbelievable.
No, it was awesome. You're not surprised by anything Schwarber does. But getting back to the curveball machine, first thing you think of when you hear curveball machine, the first person you think of is
Gabe Kapler.
Gabe got killed for that curveball machine
all of the time.
He was ahead of the curve. Now it's commonplace. Everybody uses it. Everybody thinks it's the best thing in the world. He trotted out that curveball machine in either 18 or 19. He had it out there, and then they asked Harper about it, and Harper kind of laughed like, "Oh no, I'm not really into that." And poor Gabe got killed for it. And now it's commonplace.
Carlos Santana, I'll never forget. I think it was like late September or like late in the season in September in 2018 with Carlos Santana. I remember there was a clip of him as they bring out the machine and Carlos is just shaking his head. I will never, that is engraved in my head forever. So shout out to Cap, man.
Shout out to Cap.
Shout out to Cap.
The great Joe Conklin did his song. He does a bunch of parody songs, and it was to Dancing Queen, but it was Curveball Machine. Gabe, it was great. I'm not going to sit here and sing the whole thing, but look it up. Joe Conklin, Curveball Machine. It's good for a few laughs.
That's so good, and it worked today. So shout out to Gabe Kapler.
Exactly.
Shout out to Gabe Kapler.
Shout out to Gabe.
Anything else that kind of poked your mind? Obviously, Bryce going over 4 2 strikeouts. And again, everyone, and that's the thing. Everybody that I talked to pregame, fans wise, we talked to a bunch. And everybody, I said, give me your team MVP. 90% said Bryce Harper. And so I followed that question up with, if you have a message to Bryce with everything that happened this offseason, and it was a lot, this is your time, get it together, lead this team. A lot of that. It's one game. It's okay. But 0 for 4 2 case.
Again, one game. I'm not going to sit here and get too much into it. He had the at-bat where he struck out in the 5th. I think he struck out his first at-bat. But yeah, no, it's one game. JT didn't look great, but again, we're not going to overanalyze. I think as a whole, the offense, very good. And, you look ahead, I mentioned deGrom, Aaron Nola, Saturday. We can't talk enough about him. He joined us from spring training. I'm excited to watch him. I've been saying it. I think he's going to bounce back. It's not going out on a limb to say he's going to be better than last year. He better be better than last year. But I think he's going to be close to the Aaron Nola that we've seen. I think that ERA is somewhere in the 3s. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does against this lineup. It's going to be cold. We talked about that. Not ideal for him, but really excited to see if he can go out there and kind of match wits with Jake deGrom a little bit, throw up some zeros early on the Rangers. But exciting to see Knowles. I'm sure he's just dying to get out and get this season underway, given what happened last year, get back to normal for him, and look great in the spring and look great in WBC. So I think all signs are pointing to him hopefully coming out and throwing the ball well.
I hope so. And it does stink because obviously if you know that when the cold weather is out, Aaron Nola isn't at his best. And Thursday was just a perfect day, dude.
Great day.
It was unbelievable. Got a little sweaty, a lot of running around.
Working hard over there.
Dude, it was crazy. A lot of running around. But 40 degrees at first pitch on Saturday. So we'll see how Aaron Nola handles that. But I think you said it best, dude.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But no, you said it best. Just this is the start of what could be a remarkable season for Aaron Nola and a bounce back season that we need to see.
Yeah, and he needs to see too. I mean, he's obviously been the longest tenured Philly, but he's got more years on that contract, so we need him to kind of bounce back and just be there and Nola we're accustomed to seeing. But yeah, tomorrow's not exactly Baton Rouge weather.
No, it is not.
Not Baton Rouge.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Soon enough.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. And again, Jacob deGrom too. So
yeah, man.
You see one of the best pitchers still in all of baseball. With this lineup that clicked in all cylinders. Like you said, JT Realmuto over 3 strikeouts. It's okay. Called a hell of a game behind the plate with Christopher Sanchez and company today as well. So speaking of Knowles, though, real quick, so we'll wrap up with that.
Yeah.
Really
Knowles
cool.
caught a big pitch today.
Real big pitch. And so we were debating. We didn't know who was going to catch Ricky Bo's first pitch.
Yep.
And my money was on Wheeler.
Okay.
But obviously, it would have been tough. He wouldn't have been here because he's up in Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
But would have been cool to have him kind of swing by just to be here.
Well, Wheels was here today.
Was he here today?
Oh, yeah. He was out in player introductions. He was out. They announced him. Yeah, he was here.
There you go.
And
So
I think
missed
he's pitching on
introductions.
Saturday. Yeah.
We were in the little tiny room underneath the stadium during introduction, so we missed all that.
Yeah, he got one of the nicest hands. They all got good hands. That's another thing we should talk about. Like Kirkering got a nice hand.
Yep.
A lot of the guys got really strong ovations. They announced the reserves first, including the pitchers, obviously, and then the starting lineup. But yeah, Wheels was here and got Dan Baker played it up. Zach Wheeler.
Love it.
Crowd was going nuts, so it was good to see him.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
And we were talking here. Fan favorite, Edmundo Sosa, got a huge ovation as well.
Yep.
I love that,
everybody.
man.
Everybody a nice hand.
And they do such a great job at those ceremonies.
The
Coming
parade
down through
through-
center
yeah, it's
field,
great.
down to the field.
Yep.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah,
I'm sad I missed it.
Yeah, no,
I'm
we
sad I
took
missed
that
it.
all live on our pregame show. Yeah, we had some good stuff. We had an hour plus pregame show with the guys, and that's always opening day. You got to take that stuff live. We got a camera right behind Harper coming through Ashburn Alley, going down the steps, and great job by our event crew shooting that for us. And the player intros, Dan Baker doing his thing. Dan Baker, shout out, 54th season as the Phillies public address. 54, I'm 44. I remember going, he's the only voice I've ever known, and he was doing it 10 years before I was born.
That's insane.
It's unbelievable.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. But he was great, and the intros are great, and I didn't mean to take you off track. You were getting to debating who was going to catch Rick. You said it might be Wheeler.
Could have been Wheeler. And like I said, I didn't even know that. Again, running around, it was a lot of focus on fans and Ricky today, so kind of missed some of the festivities. So I did not see Zach get introduced. I'm glad he got a good standing ovation, obviously deserving of that. But so I did. My money was on Wheeler. Knowles comes out. Trey caught Schmidt.
Yep.
Schwarber caught
the bull,
Lazinski, and then Harper caught
Boa.
which is awesome. Which is really cool. But the whole day was really cool, man. We got him mic'd up.
Yeah, tell us about it. I mean, we showed it on the pregame show. He bails halfway through our pregame show. Not bails. We cut him loose because figured it's a worthwhile cause for him to leave the pregame so we can go throw the first pitch at opening day. But you were great. You had a camera on him live, and we were able to show him getting into Mike Gaddy, our senior supervising producer here, drove him over.
Not an Uber driver.
Not an Uber driver, Mike Gaddy. Took him over, dropped him off, and then you take it from there because you followed him all the way through the stadium, onto the field. It was some really cool stuff.
Thanks, pal. Yeah, we'll have a whole social clip out. We had him mic'd up the entire time, so it was really cool.
Yeah.
To see him interact with Mike and Larry and the Bull as well.
Yeah.
It was really cool, man. And it was great. So Ricky, at one point, we're getting ready to go on the field, and he's like, "I have to take a pee."
Oh boy.
And I'm like, dude, you have 3 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
So you better hurry.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and Michael Jack Schmidt comes over to me, and he's like, "You don't want to mic me up?" I was like,
"Oh,
Michael,
that's the greatest third baseman.
I know. I
in
was
the
like,
history of the sport.
If you let me know. We'll be here."
Of course.
So then we started talking about live streamers, the streamers and stuff, and he's like, "What's up with those people, man?" I'm like,
this is great.
It
man.
was fantastic. It
One
was
of those
great.
pinch yourself. We've dealt with Schmitty before. He used to call games for us, but you just chilling, talking to the best to ever do it at third base.
It was cool, and I'm not normally like this. I've never done it before, but we're sitting there and I'm talking to Rick, and we're looking at my camera, and I'm taking a social video to send to our social team on my phone.
Yeah.
And Michael comes in, jumps in the clip, and he's like, "You didn't want me?" And I'm like, "Mike, again, brother, anything that you want." But so I did turn around, and one of my dad's all-time favorite players. So I did send a little selfie of me, Michael, and Ricky.
That's
and
awesome.
My dad was very, very happy about that.
He
one.
was.
So
Michael
it was really
Jack.
cool.
That's awesome, man. But yeah, it was cool. And then one of the funnier things you told me afterwards were you had that mic on him, but he wasn't talking to anybody. And you're like, you need to talk to people.
The whole point.
I've known Ricky for 20 years, and I've never once had to tell him to talk to anybody. He usually kind of does that on his own. He just talks constantly, but it's hilarious. The one time you really need him to be chatty, he's kind of pipes down. He was a little nervous. He'll never admit that. Maybe he was a little nervous.
I kept asking him the entire time. I was like, "Tell me, you're nervous?" No.
Yeah.
In the car, in the hallway, when we're walking up, we're taking the elevator down. You're nervous? No. He was nervous.
He was. I made him throw in the newsroom.
Yeah.
I was like, "Have you thrown at all?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Well, yeah,
Get
you're not
the
going to be
arm
on the
stretched
mound,
out,
but
dude.
just throw a couple. You don't want to go out there and be stiff and God forbid bounce one."
Right.
you're the youngest guy of the 4 out there. You want to throw at least, and he did. He threw a nice straight to Nola. But yeah, I had him throw a couple to me in the newsroom here earlier in the day, and he was really taking, oh, you think I can do it? No, he gets all offended. And no, man, I just want to see you get loose and warmed up and not have your first throw in however long be in front of 45,000 people, and you bounce one to Nola.
And I will say, so he was introduced first, and if you're there, you can back me up. Good standing ovation.
Yeah.
Like a really, really strong standing ovation.
Fans love him, man. If you ever hung out with him in any setting, people come up to him, and he is quite popular with fans across the board.
That's one of my favorite stories was the World Series 2022. We walked in together. We did something similar, had him mic'd up, walking through the concourse, and I just turned. I was like, oh, my God, it's Ricky Bottalico. And like 90 people.
That's awesome.
And he just.
That's great.
Give me a bird, and we went from there. So it was a really cool moment. Check it out for NBCSportsPhiladelphia.com or anywhere on our social channels. We'll get that out tomorrow along with the fan steak if you're listening. Actually, dude, met a fan of the pod.
Oh, yeah?
When I was talking to some
fans.
Fan of
the pod over there at the yard?
Met a fan.
Good.
Which was pretty cool. So if you're listening to this, that'll be out on Friday as well. But Phillies wrap up 5-3 winners. It got a little sketchy late, but Jahan Duran comes in and shuts the door down. Great to see him in Game 1. And like you said, nice off day on Friday. We'll get ready for a big weekend series. You mentioned Aaron Nola. Jacob deGrom on Saturday. Mackenzie Gore versus Jesus Luzardo
on
Sunday to wrap it up. 1:30.
1:30. So a big couple of games. Hopefully they can start with a series win. Tough pitchers they're going to deal with, deGrom and Mackenzie Gore. And just to wrap up the Ricky Bottalico stuff, we joke and everything, but just like a really cool day for him. Like that's a big honor and well deserved. He was an All-Star the last time, 30 years ago, the last time Philadelphia had the game. And both of his daughters, Olivia and Sophia, were here. So I think he deep down, I think he probably was a little emotional, and I think it was a pretty big day for him. And we joke a lot and kid a lot, but really well deserved for our guy to go out there and get that attention today. And I'm glad you were there to capture it.
It was great, man. Thank you. It was great. It was. It's one of those moments that you look back on in a few years from now and was like, that was really cool.
Awesome.
Really cool.
Very cool.
All right, we're landing the plane.
We're landing.
Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. Hey, you never know. We might get Ricky Bottalico on the pod on Sunday.
Let's hope so.
As we wrap up the first series of the season against the Texas Rangers. But Phillies 5-3 winners on Thursday. Opening day, 1-0, 162-0. Like I said, still in play. But looking forward to a good series finale on Saturday and Sunday. So for Sean Kane, I'm Spencer McKercher. We'll catch you guys on Sunday night.